Hello, welcome to Hakuna MaChatter, your place for everything positive in diversity and representation in film and TV. My name is Elliot. I'm joined by a very, very special guest, Olivia, here today for a view from the inside. We're about to discuss all things diversity and representation from Olivia's perspective within the industry, as well as have a little look into the films and TV shows she watched growing up and the films and TV shows she watches now she's an adult. Stick around. Hello, Olivia. Welcome to Hakuna MaChatter. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm great. It's amazing to be here.
Great. Yeah, I'm very happy to have you here. It was nice, as I kind of said in our little preamble before recording, it was nice to have someone that wanted to come onto the channel and discuss these things. So very, very happy to have you here today. So as we kind of like jump into this, I guess just so people can kind of get an idea as to who you are and to what your background is in terms of the industry or just watching film and TV or wanting to discuss diversity and representation. Tell us all things Olivia. How have you gotten to this point?
Well, I've always been interested in being an actress, singer, dancer, anything kind of within the arts I've wanted to do. I went to a musical theatre kind of BTEC, did a BTEC course, and then went on to the London School of Musical Theatre. But before that, I did some like supporting artist stuff. So I was an extra in Dumbo, and
Nice.
I absolutely loved it. It was really interesting to see like the behind the scenes, but it was amazing because we spent about 3 weeks on a minute of footage. And so from that, I'd still love to, be an actress and be in TV and film and stuff like that. But it did make me think, oh, you know what, live theatre is probably more my avenue. So then I trained in musical theatre, went on from there. Obviously, COVID has been a bit of a nightmare. I graduated in 2019, which seems like a long time ago now, but I actually had 6 months in the industry. So I did a short film. And other than that, it's kind of been a bit hit and miss because the industry just isn't what it was in 2018.
Sure.
But I've been loving, learning my craft. I've been doing some online classes, watching TV, films and everything like that. And yeah, that's where I'm at now.
Brilliant. Where was it you trained in musical theatre?
At the London School of Musical Theatre.
Oh, brilliant. How was it?
It was amazing. It was honestly the best. It's just a year course, which is quite different to the others when they kind of say, we fit what 3-year courses do in 1 year.
Right.
And I really wanted that because I did my A-levels and then went and did the musical theatre BTEC.
Yeah.
So I was already at the age where if I did 1 more year, I'd finish with everyone else who had gone straight from GCSEs or A-levels to uni.
Yeah.
So I thought that was for me, and it really was. I signed with a great agent within my last couple of weeks of training, and it was just the best year.
Great. Well, hopefully now in 2021 everything will open up and you can get a real flavour of the industry because it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place when it works.
Those 6 months, I was absolutely loving my life. I was getting to know all the cast and directors, getting to know, what different auditions entail, and I absolutely loved it. So I'm starting to get more auditions now, so I'm really looking forward to that opening up.
Great, awesome. Okay, well then let's move into then talking about the films and shows you watched growing up as a child. Like, which are the ones that stuck out? Which, I mean, I'm going to do this because the last interview I had, we were very 90s centric, but I wonder if with you will be a bit more naughty centric. If that was when you were growing up. So yeah, holler at me. What were the things you enjoyed?
Oh, I'm a bit of a nerd, like a classic. You'd think I was still a teenager because that's kind of all the things that I loved and still love, to be honest. So The Hunger Games was massive for me. I was obsessed with it at the time. I'm a massive reader, so pretty much any book that was made into a film, that was kind of what I was watching. Nice. I'll probably get a lot of hate for this, but Twilight, I was obsessed. Controversial, but I loved everything like that. Hunger Games, Twilight, all the series I was just obsessed with. Harry Potter. That was kind of the main things I was watching. Disney Channel.
Their standout show from the Disney Channel?
Probably because I'm so stagey. Hannah Montana was just the best.
Brilliant.
And now I like Miley Cyrus's music, to be honest. It's turned into more like rock, and I'm here for it.
That's it. You grew up with her. You understand that need to push into the music she has now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Of course,
yeah.
of course. Brilliant. Oh, awesome. Yeah, Hunger Games was great. I remember seeing the first film. I'd never read the books. I never read, the only sort of like book to films I read were Harry Potter. And even then I tried to be a cool kid when the Harry Potter books first came out and be like, I'm not gonna read that. Everyone's reading that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it hooks you in the end. I can see. Yeah. Brilliant. That's a great mix of fandoms you have there. I really like that. So, you know, your view now of the industry from you know, from your studying and from your experience that you have had in the industry, and even just, you know, not necessarily just as an actor, singer, dancer, but also just as a fan watching stuff as well. And, you know, what is your view as a general on diversity and representation? And we can kind of dive into the nuance as we go.
Well, I think it's definitely moving in the right direction. Like, there's no doubt about it. It's within theatre, I think it's quite a difficult one, because when I was very young, you know, all the shows I wanted to be in were like Legally Blonde, Wicked, and it was, you know, the white cast. Whereas now we're seeing so many more shows like, you know, Dreamgirls, Hamilton, In the Heights, a way more like diverse cast. But I still think kind of gone in a way that now, you know, the Book of Mormon and stuff like that, I've actually been told like I'm too light for that show like that. So it's still a bit difficult to know where I fit. I know you've talked about this on your show before, but as someone who's mixed, I'm quite clearly mixed. I think I'm not white passing, and I'm not like super dark skinned. So it's kind of know what roles to go for. Unless they're doing a colourblind casting, then there's no roles that would stick out for me and what I look like. So I guess my hopes for the industry was that maybe there'd be some mixed characters, but, you know, it's hard to know when that's going to come and what form it's going to be in. Is it going to be a story about a mixed race person, or is it just colourblind casting?
Yeah, sure. So you're very much finding yourself stuck in the ambiguity of who you are. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I can fully understand that. I mean, has that affected the roles you've already played then? Have you played roles that are, you know, sort of any race could play that role, or have you played any race specific roles that aren't necessarily your mixed heritage?
Yeah, well, not at the London School of Musical Theatre, but before I trained somewhere else, and I was Little Inez in Hairspray. And I found that whole situation quite strange, because my double, we were all double casted, there was two different casts, was white,
right,
playing a black character. And I know a lot of people will have seen the film, but not necessarily the show. The actual show has more content about race. It is more like driven. You know, the racism is shown quite a lot, and there's lines where Inez and the black characters really talk about their struggles and their as a black person. And even like I've had racism and microaggressions and stuff like that, but I've compared to a lot of black people, and especially, you know, in the US where it's set, I've really got nothing to complain about. So I found that character actually really hard to get into, even though I was like one of the darkest people in that section of the cast, which was just mad to me, because I almost felt like a fraud.
Well, yeah, it's I wonder, you know, what that kind of spurned from, because I mean, that would have been, I assume, when you were still obviously quite young, and so I you know, I wonder at that age how easy or difficult it is to get, you know, younger black actors and actresses, well, just even kids, to want to go into that field. Because one thing I've noticed in a couple of the interviews for this segment of the channel is people saying that, you know, they've not seen themselves on TV or film or in theatre, so they've not pursued that, you know, early on in life, and you know, certainly for two of my past guests, it was only later in life that they decided to go through that. So, I mean, do you feel that was a sense for you growing up, that there wasn't quite enough representation in front of you, so maybe that stilted other people going for it? Did it ever stilt you to go for it at any point? Did you ever feel, I can't get to this level because there's no one there already doing it anyway? So, I mean, how did,
To be honest,
did that ever come
completely
across?
yeah, I completely understand that view, and people want to see representation, and that's who they can aim to be like. For me, I grew up in a predominantly white area, and it wasn't until my teens that I really noticed the difference between me and my peers. So for me, I went to like dance classes ever since I was 3 or 4. So, and my mum was a dancer, so that just natural for me. I didn't really think about it too much. I was like, this is what I love, this is what I'm passionate about. I'm doing the clubs, I'm getting the roles. So obviously at an amateur level, but I was like, so this will work. There was a point actually though, probably why Hunger Games resonated with me so much was I thought I looked like the character Rue at the time.
Yeah, sure.
And that I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to play a part like this. And we were about the same age, me and Amanda Stenberg, the actress. So I was like, wow, this is really cool. Like, this is who I could be playing. So it's definitely encouraging to see representation, but for me, it wasn't. The lack of representation didn't make me question my passion.
Okay, yeah.
But it definitely it did, probably with other people.
Yeah, I mean, I think I had quite a similar early life in that regards as yourself. Definitely, I mean, definitely the secondary school I was at was very white heavy secondary school. I mean, you know, there was certainly a lot of people of other races there. Don't get me wrong. And in fact, my school kind of got to the point, because it was also a language college, that the Asian population of the school was very high, that they started offering language courses in Urdu and Hindi and stuff. So, you know, it was you know, whereas it was a quite a white heavy populated school, there was enough population of other races there to warrant that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I guess, you know, I kind of want to touch on, and if you're happy to do this, is to talk about sort of our white side, as it were, because, you know, it's something I feel that, you know, you've already kind of mentioned about you know, white passing and light skin passing, and it's hard for us because it's a privilege, and so we don't necessarily notice when it's happening all the time, but it's something we need to maybe help ourselves be aware of. I mean, do you is it something you notice within yourself or within your way in the industry, or do you feel it's a privilege you're still yet to understand, or do you feel that it's nothing that's really affected you to your best knowledge?
To be honest, I think since the George Floyd's passing and that wave of the Black Lives Matter movement, it definitely made me so much more aware of my privilege in general. And then obviously that applies to work and passions and stuff like that. I definitely feel privileged because of my upbringing and the area and stuff like that. And I definitely noticed I'd heard the word prestige thrown at me a few times by Black people, and they thought that I was kind of thought I was better than them, and I was like, what? No, like, of course not. Like, that's crazy. But that is the kind of because obviously I've dealt with less racism than them. I do have that privilege that they don't have, because a lot of, you know, people see me as equal. But then on the opposite side of that, because I did grow up with a predominantly white surroundings, I got to about 13 or 14, and someone in my class went, "Oh, you're Black, aren't you, Liv?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm half Black." And they were like, "No, you're not. You're Black." And it became a whole like group discussion what my race was, and I had to prove to them that I was 50% white, and they were just like, "No, you're not the same." It seems so juvenile, and you think this was a conversation with younger students, but we were literally about 15. They were like, "No, like, look at the colour of you, you're different to me." You're Black. And I was like, crazy.
Yeah.
Some people don't acknowledge mixed race as a race.
Well, that's it, isn't it? And there are stats that are going to show that the UK and the US, I mean, maybe for a couple other Western countries as well, but that they are, what, by 2050, I believe it is, going to be predominantly mixed race. I mean, I really look forward to the results of the census that we just took here in the UK, considering it's something the UK only does every 10 years. It'll be interesting to see, because I think in the last one, which was 2011, the black population accounted for only 3% of the population. And I think mixed race was at like 1% or something. I mean, I could see that being, I mean, that's going to have shot up in the last 10 years, I reckon. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see that.
We're starting those second and third generations of mixed people now. It's not just, I know obviously a mixed race people could be any two races, but just for this particular context with a black parent and a white parent, we're now seeing my age group. There's people who are 50 who are mixed now, who have kids, who, some of them may be white passing or some of them may be black and identify either way, but there'll be definitely a lot more people identifying as mixed race, 100%.
Yeah, and hopefully that will mean we get some more representation in film and TV. Did you, just because it was quite monumental for me in this sense, and I wonder if it was for you. I mean, you watched Bridgerton, the first season?
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, go on, just ramble, let me know, tell me.
Honestly, I had watched it, and obviously I'd acknowledged, it must be colourblind casting, which is pretty cool. It's a made-up town, so great. Anyone could be whatever colour. And I'd spoken to friends and family about it, and friends of friends had older generation had said, oh, well, they wouldn't have been in that position of power at that time.
Yeah.
And that conversation, I was like, well, it's made up, so that's fine. But then when the actual decision happened, which I really wasn't expecting, when they said the king had married a black woman, and that's kind of what changed the thing, I was like, that's mind-blowing. It's so simple, but I was thinking, could that have actually happened? Like, the acceptance of different races is obviously, it's taken a long time to get to where we are at this point. But in Bridgerton, that was really, really short section, wasn't it? It was basically there was racism, and then the king was like, I'm marrying this black woman, you must accept her. And then now, high up dukes and ladies and lords are different races, which I thought was pretty awesome.
Yeah. I think what was monumental for me with it was, for me it was the casting of Rege-Jean Page as a romantic lead. I never watch period dramas because for me it's just, it's just white people just living their dramatic lives. I never got into Downton. I was like, I'm just not bothered. So to see the Duke, as the main romantic lead, I was like, I want to see this. I'm curious now. I want to know what that's like. And I'm watching it, and I'm seeing other mixed friends as well posting on social media, being like, and I think there was, they just had the renewal for seasons 3 and 4, and a friend's tweeting like, right, I need to get in this show now, and it's previously I don't think I've ever heard him speak about a period drama before. So yeah,
it would never be something that I would potentially have gone for before Bridgerton. Like, it's so amazing. I love all the ball gowns and stuff like that. I saw a ball guys, and I've booked tickets. I'm like, I want to go. To see people who look like me in that setting was amazing. Definitely pivotal show.
Yeah, definitely. I just kind of hope that it can push it a bit further for the second season, because I feel they still held themselves back a little bit. But
although he's leaving.
I know he's gone and done too good a job, and now everyone wants to hire him. So
there's rumours he might be Black Panther. So
whoa, interesting. Yeah, interesting.
It is interesting. How do you feel about that?
For him to be Black Panther, yeah. Well, I mean, I find that interesting. Firstly, because Kevin Feige announced that they're retiring the character of T'Challa. If they were to bring him back, I would probably still cast a fully black person for it, rather than someone mixed. I think that character needs to be fully black.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, there's also rumors that he's going to go on to be James Bond. So who knows? I think it's
I prefer that. I think he's James Bond.
Yeah, I think he would definitely capture the broody side of Bond very well. Yeah. That mood, just that masculine moodiness. In terms of the industry then moving forward with diversity and representation, obviously we've kind of touched lightly on that we'd like to see more mixed representation, because I mean, mixed is such a big thing. It's not just black and white. There are so many different versions of what mixed can be. Is there anything within the industry you feel, an area where you look at where this is what needs to be improved fundamentally in order for the industry to grow? Is there something there that you think, yeah, that's where it needs to be?
You know what? I'm still waiting for a mixed race Disney princess. One with two parents who look different. I think that would be really amazing. Obviously, we see a lot of Disney princesses with one parent or two white parents who tragically die or something like that. But to see an actual united household, because I think this is my friend Tommy. She works for a branding company, and she wanted to use a mixed race family. And one of the high people who was organising it was like, "Oh yeah, but families like this don't exist." I was like, "I've never do you know any people like this? There's no a black parent, a white parent, and a mixed kid like that. Families like that don't have a place," which was crazy to me. And I was thinking, you know what? We don't see that enough. We're seeing more mixed people now, but not family units. Yeah. That would be really special. It doesn't have to be necessarily in Disney, but just in general, more different families. And that goes as far as gender and sexuality as well. I think it'd be great to see some, more two mums, maybe a transgender person who was a dad and now is a woman, stuff like that. I just think it's not all families are, as we see them on TV and film at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think what really needs to happen with that as well is that it needs to be, as you say, the main family in that film or TV show, because I think there are a lot of shows, at least that I've seen. It's possible that the shows are out there, we just haven't found them yet, But I know some of the shows that I have watched, they're not the main, they're a secondary, or they're in the background, or I think there was a family in Toy Story 4. I think it was like a background, one of the kids at the play school when they had two mums, and they're on screen for a second as the camera pans, and that was kind of it. It was kind of it's kind of how race diversity started, and that it was just to build the background world. Exactly. You look at sitcoms like Friends and How I Met Your Mother, and the extras are diverse as fuck, but the leads are just a mono.
A good one for that, actually, I watched Thunder Force recently, which is kind of, I don't know if you've seen it.
I've seen the reviews, and so I've not watched it yet.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. It's not good. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's just a family. But the representation in that was really good. We've got a black lead and a white lead, different sorts of families, and there was a section where I can't remember what happened, but they were like, "Oh yeah, you go to your mum's," and that was just a side part. But I was like, "Yay, representation, lovely." But I shouldn't have to get excited when I see that diversity. That should just be the norm, I guess.
All right, well, let's move on now to talking about the films and TV shows you're watching today. I mean, we kind of touched on Bridgerton and we've brought up Thunder Force there as well. But as an adult, are there films and shows that you know, your favorite that stuck out to you, and what are the kind of films and shows you look to watch nowadays, and theatre as well. You know, let's not discount theatre from there at all.
Well, I'm a massive Marvel fan, and I know you are as well. And I know you've spoken about Falcon and Winter Soldier, but that is, to be honest, every week I'm getting excited for Friday. I'm literally like, okay. And last night's episode, I was literally like, wow, it was really powerful to me for sure, because it is that kind of question, you know, is you want to be progressive, but you don't want to do anything that's going to kind of tarnish your past and your struggles. It's kind of something that Sam Wilson's going through, is that, you know, he wants to be that representation and help out, but then at the same time, the people that he's representing have oppressed his ancestors. So that's, I think stuff like that is really, really great representation of real life. I actually just this morning started watching The Hate You Give. Have you seen it?
No.
It's really, really worth the watch. I'm surprised like not more people are talking about it. It's about basically what we're seeing a lot in the news at the moment. That guy being shot because they thought he was armed, but he wasn't. That's not really a spoiler. That is kind of
just general life.
So I definitely am drawn to those sorts of stories. But then, you know, it's nice to watch some fun stuff as well. I've been watching a lot of heavy films, and, you know, Marvel is great, but it is quite intense, even though there's a lot of comic relief in this, which I really like. But I started watching The Office, which is a great kind of opposite of all that.
For the first time as well?
Yeah, I'd never seen it. And then I saw it was on Netflix, the US one. And I binge watched all 9 series in about a month.
Wow, yeah, because we've started watching for the first time. It's my girlfriend and one of my sisters. We all live together. We're very slow with it. I think we started watching in November, and we're only just on to season 7. So, I mean, we're loving it.
Actually, because it's so funny, but it does touch on diversity and race in quite a taboo sort of way.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
It doesn't offend me at all.
No.
I think the way they do it, which is really well done, is that because some of the characters are so ridiculous, when they're saying these things that can come across racist or homophobic or misogynistic, you know that that's wrong, because most of the things they say are a bit crazy. So I think that makes it kind of funny, because you can laugh at the views as well as the character.
No, I feel you on that one, because, you know, it at times feels like some of the characters are only there for the butt of the joke, and you know, but then, as you say, because of the characters the joke is coming from, you just don't take it seriously, and you're just like, you're just an idiot, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. And like Indy, she's the butt of the joke quite a lot, but she's also a producer, and I know that pretty much all the characters have quite a lot of say in like the writing as well, and you know, how the characters act. So it makes me feel more comfortable knowing that they've had input in that joke. If that makes sense. Because I know at the time, you know, people of colour, different ethnicities, the roles they're getting is like, okay, great, I'm this person. Oh, okay, the joke's on me, kind of thing. Whereas if I'm saying I don't like anyone making racist jokes towards me, but, you know, if I'm self-deprecating, laugh, that's fine. You know what I mean?
I feel you. Great. Any other shows or films?
Trying to think. I hadn't actually seen any of the Marvel films until lockdown. I literally watched all 26 in chronological order.
Brilliant.
So that's
on Disney Plus.
Yeah, exactly. And WandaVision was an interesting one as well. I'm really excited to see, I can't remember her name, but the one who, not to spoil.
Monica.
Yeah, that's it. It'll be really interesting to see if she comes in the MCU.
Well, she's 100% in Captain Marvel 2, because the character obviously was in the first Captain Marvel. I wonder if she will drop into the Miss Marvel TV show, because again, Miss Marvel is linked and with them as well. Is there a standout Marvel film that's been your favorite, or three? I don't know, let's go for three. Let's go for three. Make it easier on you.
Okay. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I just think it's really fun.
Yeah.
And also I love Valkyrie as a character, probably because the representation. I think she's badass, and also I could cosplay her, which is pretty fun. I've got to say, this has been on my mind, I can't pick between them, but the Endgame and what's one before it again? Infinity War. Infinity War to Endgame. Which,
a lot of people do.
But I just think it, all the characters working together, it's just really epic. And then also, I love Sebastian Stan's portrayal of Bucky. Captain America Winter Soldier's got to be up there as well.
That's a massive one for people. Yeah, I mean, solid choices. For me, my top three have been, I think, Civil War, of the first Avengers, Avengers Assemble, and what would number three be? I think probably Endgame. Yeah, I think probably Endgame. This has been fantastic. Thank you very much for coming on. Always. If people want to connect with you further in this, is that okay? Can they reach out to you on social media? Yeah, where can they find you?
So I'm liv_Ann on Instagram. So LIVV_ANN. I also have a book blog where I review different books, which is Liv's Read a Book.
Nice. Liv's Read a Book. Awesome. The links to all of that will be in the description box.
Liv reads a book. There we go. Liv reads a book.
There we are. Liv reads a book. Yes, the link to that will be in the description box down below. So do make sure you go check Liv out there and connect with her on social media as well. Any final thoughts? Anything?
Just thank you for having me, and keep doing what you're doing. I'm loving watching all these conversations, and hopefully we'll start seeing more representation with mixed race people soon, because it's starting to happen with one race at a time. But yeah, it would be interesting to see.
It's all the industry can handle, one race at a time.
I've got my Mixed Girl Magic t-shirt on today, especially.
I mean, it's a brilliant t-shirt. Awesome. Great. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for checking this video out. Do leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. We'd love to know your opinions on everything diversity and representation, everything we've discussed here today, and maybe your top 3 Marvel films as well. Why not chuck them down in the comment section down below. If you're new here to the channel, please consider subscribing, turning on that bell notification, and I'll see you again here soon. Thank you very much, Liv. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Until next time, Hakuna MaChatter.